All right, guys, today we're going to be talking about how to turn a cold audience into warm leads. Now, I actually read about this method. It really made a ton of sense to me, and it really changed my outlook on everything, on sales, marketing, social media, traffic, you name it, audiences. It really put into perspective everything. And so today I'm going to try to do the book justice and explain it to you. But starting off, we're going to just dive straight into it, right? So the larger method formula. So as you can see here, it splits everything into 4 categories, right? So you have 3% of your audience is ready to buy right when you see them, right? 17% is in the information gathering mode. 20% are aware of the problem that they have, and 60% are not aware of the problem that they have. So kind of just jumping straight into it, I want to start with the 3% audience. These clients are ready to buy right now. They're low-hanging fruit, but the problem with that is that they're not low-hanging fruit just for you. They're low-hanging fruit to everyone. And that's the part that sucks about this specific audience, right? So every marketer with a pulse is targeting this client, especially beginner marketers, right? So these are your marketers who have no clue what they're doing. They've never ran an ad before, but they just say, I'm looking for busy professionals. And then they throw a bunch of money into it and hope they get something, right? This is who everyone thinks they should go after before they learn what actual marketing is. The issue with this client is that it's more of a pay to play, right? So if you don't have a ton of money to put into ads and you don't have a ton of sales assets and credibility, and there's not a bunch of, videos about your company, and you haven't built that brand yet, you're probably not going to sell this customer because every big business is also going after this person, right? So you're thinking about it like a Fortune 500 company versus a mom and pop shop, right? You're the mom and pop shop. Obviously, companies like Target or big name brands or big coaches like an Alex Hormozy or Ryan Pineda, some of these guys you see all over Instagram, those are the targets of the coaching industry or the new social media industry that we're in now. Those guys can put out a reel or an ad and say, hey, buy from me, and people just flock. And that's where the majority of this 3% go. If you're newer in the space and you haven't really built up that brand, there's no way you can compete. It's just impossible. So this client should not be your target in the beginning until after you've built a credible brand and have a higher ad spend, right? And so what we're going to do now, we're going to kind of move on a little bit and talk about the 17% audience. These clients are in gathering information mode. For example, most organic content creators that know there's a better way and want to get out of their organic grind and really scale with consistency and predictability, right? That group understands that they have a problem and that they're trying to figure out how to solve the problem. They know that they've been doing the same thing for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And not only do they know it, they've hired a coach, or they've hired someone else to tell them how to do the exact same thing that they're already doing, except a little bit better. But the issue is that they're already doing it to the best of their ability if they're trying to scale. And that's where the issue comes in with the 17% audience. They're already trying stuff. They're doing stuff, like I said, they're aware of their problem and they're gathering information and they're trying to find the best solution for their problem. And so that's why I put here, this audience is the most vulnerable. They're typically doing YouTube shopping, Google shopping, and social media shopping to see where they can find the best information. The price could be a factor, but if they meet the right coach, the value could be greater than the price. And when the value is greater than the price, that's when they'll purchase from you, right? So once you can tell a customer that has a problem that you have the solution, and that problem has gotten so large for them that just solving the solution means more than money, that's when people will pay hand over fist for your product, especially if you can solve it. And so kind of jumping into the next step, this is why you need sales assets. This is why you need videos like this. You need good SEO on these videos. So if you look at my titles, if you look at the descriptions of my videos, if you think about some of the keywords I'm saying in my videos, they're all for a reason, right? I'm talking to online coaches. I'm talking to coaches that are trying to do this organic thing and they're frustrated. I'm talking to people doing cold DMs and sending 100 messages a day and doing all this stuff, trying to build their business and scale, but they can't. And so that's my target, right? Reels and shorts, and last but not least, VSLs and targeted ads. You want these things already created, preferably before you even run into this person, because someone that's gathering information isn't going to wait for you to put out the information. They want their information right now because they want to solve the problem right now. And so if you don't have that information already out and ready for them to listen and watch and learn, they're probably not going to buy from you. The customer will typically require about 7 hours of information to trust you enough to buy your product or course. Huge. So if you don't have 7 hours worth of information out, I highly recommend getting 7 hours worth of information out as fast as you possibly can. Moving on, the 20% audience. This audience is aware, but they haven't really started moving towards gathering information quite yet. So these are your potential coaches, your potential buyers. They know what they want. They know that they want help, but no one has really shown them how much they actually need the help. The customer is typically delusional. They're ramming their head on the wall, trying to put squares into circles. This is the typical client that will probably purchase your course out of frustration of not being able to hit their goals alone. This is the customer you're pulling towards with your ads. The goal isn't to sell them with your ad, but just to get them to follow you. And once they follow you, you have a library of organic content already out that they can be flooded with. I know I said a lot just now. Basically what I'm saying is that once you can move them towards gathering information, like once they hit that follow button on your page, the next step, they're automatically going into gathering information mode, and they're scanning your content and they're going through it. And if you don't have that content there, they can't go into the next step of gathering information. Well, they can, they just won't do it with you, right? And so you need that next step of gathering information there, so that way they can trust you. And when they do have enough information to finally purchase that product or purchase your course or get coaching from you, there's a trust that's built through all the information that they've learned from you. And so 20% audience, this is, like I said, this is the customer that you're pulling towards you with your ads. This is the customer that you're typically calling out, and you're saying, hey, if you're fill in the blank, this is typically that person. They're aware, but they just don't know where to go and how to get that thing. They want it, and sometimes this is that person that you have on your sales call that they may not have the money to even do it, but they want it bad enough. And so you have a lot of your split payments here, you have a lot of your overcoming objections here. This is just that group of people. And last but not least, you have your 60% audience. This audience is completely oblivious of the problems. They believe everything's going to be fine and dandy until someone calls them out and tells them that they actually do have a problem right now. This audience is the most unpredictable because you don't know how they will react to finding out that they have a problem. That's huge. I'll touch on that here in a second. This group is why it's important to have sales assets set up before running ads. Now, I know I said it for all of them, but I think that for the 60% audience, it's the most important for these guys. Not only because you don't know how they're gonna react to understanding that they have a problem, but also because you don't know who they know that actually has the problem, that they can maybe refer over to you, or you just never know. And so having the content set up is one of the biggest pieces. This is why I know I give organic coaches a lot of crap, but this is why I actually do like organic coaches, because they do already have that content in place. You can't just run ads and expect a bunch of people to follow you and then you sell a bunch of products and a bunch of coaching courses and a bunch of stuff if you don't even have like the basic organic content. You need to have both. You need to have organic content and you need to have ads going, right, to bring in those followers. And so your ad may be what makes them aware, but because you don't have content or sales assets for them to gather information from, they will go look somewhere else, and you created a customer for another coach. Don't know who this customer will become when they see your ad. They could literally jump into any one of the 4 audiences based on their personality, situation, income, and the quality of your ad. At the end of the day, your job is to create audiences within your following. That's it. That's the end of the goal, right? You're gonna run ads, get a bunch of followers. These followers are gonna put themselves into these 4 different audiences. Some people are gonna follow you just because they like the video that they posted. Those people will be the 60%. You can have some people that maybe they're smaller coaches, or they're just coaches that don't make enough money to purchase your thing yet, or they're a coach and they just like to follow the coaches. Like, they're aware that they have a problem, obviously. Those guys will go in that 20%. Then you have some guys that will see your ad and they're like, I do want to scale right now. Let me go check and see this guy's page. They'll go through all of your content, make sure that you're someone that, is who they say they are. And then you have some people who literally will see your ad and they'll DM you and they'll purchase your product right there on the spot. And so that's the end of the goal. As your ad goes out and brings in new followers, you should already have content and sales assets waiting for them so they can gather information and move themselves into ready to buy mode, but not just from anyone, specifically from you, because now they trust you and they don't need to go anywhere else. And so guys, I hope this video helps. I hope this video gives you some type of insight into why you really do need ads in your business. And if it does help, hit that subscribe button, like the video. If you're ready to go ahead and go start scaling your online coaching business, my payment link is in the description below. Hit the link, go ahead and pay the invoice, and we'll get a call booked to start your one-on-one coaching. So with that, guys, that all wraps everything up, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.